Good morning, seventh graders. Today, I want to quickly go over your assignment for this week. So, last week we started going into the Boston Massacre. We looked at two different images and we tried to analyze them. We did a notice of wonder and then we watched a quick video about the Boston Massacre. And now we are going to dive even deeper into this topic because we are going to hold a trial from afar. And the way we're going to do that trial, and I will put out the lessons, the instructions for that, and the expectations for that next week, is that you are going to be assigned a side. You are either going to argue that the British troops are guilty of a massacre or that they are not guilty of a massacre. I will be assigning which one you are doing. But today and this week, you are going to be gathering evidence for both sides. That way you can be prepared to decide whether or not they are guilty. And you are going to be doing that by creating a wee video next week. So this week, it's incredibly important that you are paying good and close attention and that you're gathering really good evidence for next week. So, Boston Massacre. Ignore this top part. Actually, I'm going to delete this right now. Write your opening statement here. No, I'm going to leave it there. This is for you to think about what you might be arguing for and how you might put that together, but that's totally fine. Let's ignore that for now. Massacre. The definition of a massacre is deliberately and violently kill a large number of people, or another definition, an indiscriminate and brutal slaughter of people. Now, deliberately means to purposefully, you're doing it on purpose to kill a large number of people. But also, a massacre means to indiscriminate, means you're not doing it to a specific person, you're doing it to anyone who's there. To brutally slaughter people, anyone who just happens to be there. It's not like you're targeting one specific person. So that is the definition of massacre, and this is what we are going to be coming back to answer the question: are the British guilty of committing a massacre, which falls under these two different definitions? I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of evidence here. You do not, and you are not, unless you are absolutely obsessed with this and want to, you're not doing all 9 pieces of evidence. In fact, you are only choosing 3 pieces of evidence to analyze. You are all required to do evidence document A. And evidence document A is actually 7 pieces of testimony. These are primary source because they are interviews with people who were there. 7 different interviews. Okay. And yes, I know these images block the wording here. I can't seem to fix that. I tried. But you can still glean and get all the information of what's written behind this image here, this image here. I apologize for that. I don't know how that happened. But you have 7 different testimonies here. You will read through these quickly. They're all the same event, but different people's account of the same event. And you must choose 2 other pieces of evidence to use. Now, here are my stipulations for those 2 other pieces of evidence. I have images here. Document D is an image. Document E is an image. Document F is an image. You may do an image, but you may only do one image if you do an image. You don't have to do an image, but if you are, you may only do one image. You cannot do your other 2 as an image. And besides that, I'm going to say, please spread it out. So if you choose, everyone does document A, okay? And if you choose document B, do not do document C. Try to spread it out, okay? So if you do document A, document B, maybe they'll come down and do document H, okay? Try and spread it out. That way we have a diverse range of different documents being used by people. Now, I am going to tap a few people to help me as a judge, meaning that they are going to be responsible for reviewing all of the videos to decide are they guilty or not. And they will actually be reviewing only 2 videos. One person's British are guilty, one person's British or not guilty, and they'll be deciding who wins that trial, and they will have to make a video about that. If you are super duper strongly interested in being a judge for this, um, email me. Email me and say I really, really, really want to be a judge, and I will work with you on that. Okay. So this is your assignment for the week. You are going to do 3 of these documents, and you're going to fill in your graphic organizer here. Author of the document, date, type, is it primary, secondary? You're just going to put that all here. Notice this first one has 7 different accounts. You're going to put down the names of all 7 people. Evidence that the evidence of who's at fault. So you're going to say that this here is, specifically to the English and the Loyalists, sorry. So what is the evidence in your document that shows that the British are at fault? What are the evidence in your document that shows that the Patriots are at fault? What is the evidence that this is a massacre? What is the evidence that this is not a massacre? Now, if we are doing Bloody Sunday, which was one of the ones you looked at before, so I don't mind. Oh, here we go. I don't mind pulling it up and looking at it again. So, Bloody Sunday. Who is the author of this? Paul Revere. Does that name sound familiar? It should. Paul Revere is incredibly famous for his midnight ride on the horse saying, "The British are coming, the British are coming." And it's a poem. He is the one who makes this etching, and he is the one who authors it. And it even has a date on here of March 5th, 1770. So we're going to use that. Is this primary or secondary? He claims to have been there. We'll call this a primary source. Now, what are the evidence that the British are at fault? You can look at this. There's a lot of things you can see here that the British are at fault. You might talk about the guns. You can talk about the guy with the sword. All this right here, British are at fault. I want you to dive deeper in this. I'm just going to do a very, very little overview of it. Evidence that the Patriots are at fault. You might even just talk about, look, they're all wearing blue, meaning they're organized. They're all crowded on the streets in front of these soldiers. Maybe they were causing a ruckus. I don't know. You can read through here, and this zooms in pretty well to be able to read what they say happened here. And is this a massacre or not? Evidence it's a massacre. You can talk about what you see from this that makes it look like a massacre. Pretty good evidence for a massacre. Evidence why it's not a massacre. There's pretty good evidence why it's not a massacre. So you can find both of them in this document. And you're going to use that information to fill out your graphic organizer. Now remember, you're only doing 3 documents. Only one of them can be an image. Everybody must do document A. If you have any questions whatsoever, please email me, or please join me for my office hours on Tuesday and on Friday. Oftentimes, if people join me for my office hours and they walk through and talk about the assignment with me, I will waive some of the work that they have to do. Okay? But you're gonna want and need really good evidence in order to make your video next week. So you're gonna want to make sure you're capturing as much evidence as possible to be able to create your video. Please, again, email me if you have any questions. Join me at my office hours. And I look forward to seeing what information you gather. And I will be putting out by the end of the week, or by next Monday, which side you're on. On Monday, I will say whether or not you're on the British or the Loyalist side. Okay? Have a great week. Bye.